How many artificial faces can a woman have? The story is telling us about the various faces or roles that a woman can have. Rosa sends a text message to her boyfriend. Pedro, where are you? My life, I know that nothing is going right between us for some days. We'll resolve everything by meeting and talking, you just come back, I miss you. A response has come from there. I'm also missing you, but I don't want to trap in my work matters. I need some more time. After leaving Pedro's house, Rosa and her daughter Sofia have been feeling quite sad and depressed. When Rosa's father found out about this, he was so concerned that he came to check on his daughter's well-being the very next morning, and advised her that no matter what challenges life throws her way, she should never give in to sadness and despair. After sharing these words of wisdom, Rosa's father dropped Sofia off at school, and then Rosa received a call from Pedro's ex-wife, who was also a police officer. She was livid with Pedro because their son had a medical appointment that day and Pedro was supposed to be there, but his phone was dead. Rosa revealed that Pedro had abandoned her as well and had taken off somewhere. Rosa's ex-husband was harassing her, wanting to take custody of Sofia, but Rosa was not willing to give her daughter's custody to her husband. At that time, Rosa texted a friend that her husband wanted to take custody of Sofia and destroy her. His name is Robert, and he is also a local police officer and a fighter like Rosa. As soon as Robert finished his work, he went to Rosa's house. After meeting, Robert, took Rosa to a dinner party where only police officers were present. Rosa was looking very happy among them, but one police officer, named James, noticed her strange behavior. James left after meeting Rosa, but before leaving, he sent a message to Pedro that his girlfriend Rosa was at the party with Albert. Meanwhile, we see a burned-out car. As soon as it was discovered that there was a dead body in the car, Senior Detective Aster Verona was called to investigate. The car was completely burned, so there was no chance of finding DNA. However, the license plate number revealed that the car belonged to a police officer. Meanwhile, the police found a steel plate, and Rosa was enjoying herself with her friends. Suddenly, she remembered Pedro and messaged him, "I wish you were here, Pedro. Your wife and I are in big trouble. First, they took away our daughter, and now Pedro, you're gone too." Rosa had returned from the party and was very happy. The next morning, Detective Aster arrived at Rosa's house, searching for Pedro. Rosa told her that they had a fight, and Pedro left the house. Rosa asked, "Why are you looking for Pedro?" The detective replied, "We found a burned car last night, with a body inside. It seems Pedro had an accident." As soon as Rosa heard this, her heart sank, and she realized that Pedro was no more. The next morning, the confirmation came that the dead body in the car was indeed Pedro's. Detective Aster began questioning Rosa, who shared the details of their argument and conversation. After hearing the conversation, Detective Aster realized that Pedro needed time to work on their relationship issues, so he left. She went to the church to pray for Pedro's soul. The next day, it was revealed that Pedro had been suspended for assaulting a boy and had the responsibility of supporting two families, which might have led him to get entangled in illegal activities. Rosa's family and ex-husband came to offer condolences, but seeing her ex-husband made Rosa fearful and angry. She shared her concerns with Detective Aster the next day, and Aster started to suspect that Pedro's ex-wife might be involved in his death. However, it was a challenging task for Detective Aster to catch the real culprit, as Rosa's friends and family were all police officers, making it a complex case to crack. After returning from the party, Rosa's boyfriend was waiting for her parents to leave. After Rosa's parents left, then they went into the room with powder and water to clean up the blood stains. The next day, the police came to protect Rosa. As soon as they left, Rosa went to Albert's house where the murder is planned. On that day Rosa sent a message to Pedro and she sent message from Pedro's phone to herself which she showed to Aster. Aster was furious and Rosa had already set a trap for her ex-husband Javi. According to the court's order, Sophie was supposed to spend 15 days with father and 15 days with mother. The story now goes back in time to when Rosa was a bar dancer with many admirers, including Javi, who worked as a security guard at the same bar. They both joined the police force together. But Javi took a little longer to pass the exam, while Rosa passed in one attempt. Javi was jealous of Rosa's success and began to conspire against her. Meanwhile, Aster found out about Rosa's old case through a newspaper, and Rosa thought it was time to tell Aster the truth. After their police training, Rosa was posted at the Sud Villa police station, where she met Manu. They somehow managed to become partners, and before they knew it, they were close. Manu had fallen in love with Rosa, left his wife, and was insisting on marrying Rosa, but Rosa was just passing time with him. The next day, Rosa was getting ready for duty when a dirty video of her was sent to Javi's phone. Javi was furious and left Rosa. After Rosa left for duty, she found out that Manu had sent the video to everyone. She mentioned this in a meeting, but no one believed her, thinking she was trying to tarnish Manu's image. After this, Rosa got her posting changed to Jona Franca. Aster, after investigating all the matters, reached Javi's place for questioning, asking about Manu's affair and transfer. Javi got angry, and Aster said, "Rosa suspects you of killing Pedro." Until now, Javi was trying to save Rosa, but when he realized she was trying to trap him, he got fed up and said, "If you want to know the truth, go ask Albert. You won't find anything here." The story now goes back in flashback again. After Rosa's posting, she was assigned to work with Albert, who was a flirtatious person. Both of them misused their power, and this was the time when Rosa was about to become the mother of Javi's child. The entire household was filled with joy, and then Sophia was born. During this period, Rosa and Albert's affair had also begun. The story now shifts to Pedro's funeral, where Detective Aster meets Rosa again. Aster had doubts that Rosa hadn't told her about Albert's involvement, but Rosa claimed nothing had happened between them. Just then, they received news that Pedro was near Javi's house on the 2nd. Rosa started acting as if Javi had killed Pedro, but Aster had already understood that Rosa was a cunning woman. However, she didn't reveal her suspicions. The murder of Pedro still remained a mystery. The next morning, they decided to delete all their messages and stay away from each other until Javi was arrested. Their dream was yet to be fulfilled because the police investigation revealed that when Pedro was near Javi's house, Javi was actually in Villanova. The next day, when Javi came to take his daughter, Rosa scolded him and warned him to stay away from her daughter, implying that he was a suspect in Pedro's murder case and might go to jail. Javi replied that he was innocent and had nothing to do with the police suspicions. The next day, Rosa's parents asked her about the rumors, and she started acting as if Javi was trying to frame her for Pedro's murder. She claimed that Javi had told Aster that she had killed Pedro, but Aster didn't believe her. Rosa and Javi decided to delete all their messages and stay away from each other until Javi was arrested. The story then goes back in time to when Rosa first met Pedro, who was 40 years old but had a childish mind. He was a traffic police officer and started acting strangely after meeting Rosa. Javi found out about their relationship and left Rosa. Pedro became a part of Rosa's family after her divorce, but he later left his wife for Rosa. Aster questions Albert about his relationship with Rosa and Pedro, and Albert reveals that Rosa was with him on the night of Pedro's disappearance. Rosa had told Aster that she was with Pedro at the clinic on that night, but the clinic's records showed that Rosa had lied. Aster investigates further and finds that Pedro's phone was inactive on the night of his disappearance, and Rosa had been lying about their plans to have a child. Rosa's parents are called in for questioning again, and this time, they reveal that Rosa had told them to lie about her whereabouts on the night of Pedro's disappearance. The next day, Rosa and Albert's mobile locations are traced, and it's found that they were at the same location as Pedro's phone. Rosa and Albert are arrested, and Pedro's phone is found in Rosa's house. The investigation reveals that the bloodstains on the bulb in the basement were Pedro's, and Rosa had tried to frame Albert for the murder. Rosa had planned the murder with Albert, and they had killed Pedro together. The story then reveals that Rosa and Pedro had been married for only 3 months, and Rosa was already bored with him. She couldn't leave him because people would talk, and her parents would be disappointed. So, Rosa and Albert planned to kill Pedro and make it look like a robbery gone wrong. They spiked Albert's food with sleeping pills and killed him. In the end, both Rosa and Albert confessed to the crime and the proof was found. The jury members sentenced Rosa to 20 years and Albert to 25 years.